part 2, the Mirror 60 restoration. Please subscribe and hit the like button.
It's amazing how this, after all these years, how easily it moves. Absolutely, I mean, this thing is just so, and that's, I haven't even put anything on it. Just put it, get a little squid. And there, it frees it up. But I don't enjoy weapons, but I admire the engineering in them. So this pin has two. There's a grub screw here. Oh, that's not even tight. That's straight. And then it has a holding screw here. So I might want to use a slightly bigger screwdriver. Yeah. Amazed at how this. Alright, so we've got a pin here. The pin's got a flat on it, if you can see. It's got a flat. Oh, the entire table turns. Yeah, now we're discovering things. Yes, oh, I see. So there's one piece. That's very nice. So the entire table comes out as one piece. Isn't that a beautiful? I love that simplicity. That is just gorgeous. Look at that. Comes out as one piece. To restore this, and there's that, look at that, beautiful fit, just for a cover. The cover, the entire cover is cast. That's all it does, it just covers. And there's a detent. There's a detent here, and there's the, well, that's the detent. This is the ball, should I say. Together, they make a working detent. Okay. In fact, if I see, this is how they used to make a detent. I'll just take a. These are very useful. These pliers have no serrations. So when you take something out with them, it doesn't put any score on it. So there is the actual detent. So it's not just a ball and spring. And this is what makes them last so long. The ball, what happens with the ball wears there and it wears there, so it wears in two places, whereas this will not last a long time. Okay, so it has a spring, put a tap in. That's got a bit of muck, so it's kind of got itself caught up. That's a 2.5mm. Yeah. Put that back in its house. Clean that up. That. Right, so you see there's another eye here. There's another thread eye there. I don't know if you can see that. Where this thread comes in, so it obviously comes in through here. There's another one here. This one that you can obviously see here. So the foot, I've had soaking for a bit. Let's see if we can get it to move. Getting a bit of movement. There we go. If you can see, but it's starting to come free. So back it up a little bit. Oh. Wow. Okay, we got the spring working now. Okay, so the foot pressure setting is set here, which we should be able to take off. The end of this adjuster might have become a little there we go. Alright, so it came off. So it just sits between, well, that's the adjuster. Yeah, and as I had suspected, 3 years of 3 years of use, the end of this has swollen. From east we've got the foot off, and we can have a look at it. It's a little worn. It at one point in time was also either polished to tool steel, because it's obviously hard. Pretty sure this is hard. Yes, it's hard. So a lot of the old industrial machines, they didn't worry to make the feet that fancy. They just left them hardened. Now, if you see that is one of the needles. It is a curved needle. I don't know if you can see them. I don't suppose it'll help if I put it at that angle, you might be able to see it there. And here, there's a hook here, which will be part of the overlocking process, where it pulls this pulls through. I think now, as I said to you, this is not. Neither is that. None of these are. None of these are seized. No. I'm not surprised that it's fairly tight. So this is more or less the point to which we had got to. And the machine at that point was still seized. Right, so what I'm going to do now is open this side here, which opens with these two screws here, which, if you remember, I already had them out. And you have to take that off as well, because it's got a little lip that goes over here, and that is part of the bottom thread. You see it has a hole there. Now I'll just pop this open. And we can take this out, which doesn't come out that easily. It's a very close fit. So there that is, and there is the part that oscillates, and here is your lower hook, this is your upper hook, which, as you can see now, has the proper hook in it. The one that was in here originally was broken. Now if you see this mark here, this, when this was seized, was in that position, and it had seized on there, so this had stuck, had corroded on there. Unfortunately, you have that corrosion. To correct that, really, if you wanted to use this machine, you would need to surface grind this, and of course you'd have to compensate for that by taking some off the bottom of this, so that your tolerances remain the same. This plate here has this little tongue on it. That tongue, you have a little plate that runs the length of the machine in there, and that goes right the way through, and it comes out the back there. And you can see there's a screw here. If you undo that screw, you can put pressure on this plate, which I've described before, and you press on it, which stops any flex in the direction of this. Stops any movement, because you push down on that and it just makes it more snug, and it makes your timing more accurate. Right. But now we're going to take this apart, right? And as you've seen, I have removed the foot. Foot goes on there like that. Right, the foot was pretty rusted and old, and I have burnished this part of the foot, which is necessary, because it uses that former. That's your overlocking former. The material is underneath here, and it forms the overlocking stitch over this former, which must be nice and shiny, so that the overlocking loop just flows off it. Right. So now to get this apart, we have to take this off, those two, which removes this post, and we have to take off the needle plate. Right, the needle plate comes off with one screw. it is there. This also I have polished over here, because as you can imagine, the loop that is made by the overlocking mechanism is made over this foot and that foot, so it has to slide off both of them, so it must slide from the bottom and from the top. Right. This little piece here that you see there, that screw was missing. This screw I managed to get from MERROW, because it is a 532, not a very commonly available screw. 532 NF, I should imagine. It's a fine thread. So to get the this mechanism, this front piece off, you need to take this walking foot off. You need to remove that. All right. That's that. And now, I know the camera won't be able to show you that. The camera's a little bit too low. I'm going to take these out now. These, for some reason, oh well, it's because they aren't that tight. Alright, I had loosened them previously. Right, so take that out. It's just the two screws. There's no dowels. It's purely the engineering, the accuracy of the indexing that holds it together. No dowels. Okay, so there is the foot. The bottom thread comes up through that groove, in through that hole there. There's a hole in there. Right, so there you can see it. It goes through there. The thread comes through there, and it goes through this hole in the hook, in the lower hook, which is that way round. This one here, this is your looper. So it loops from the bottom to the top. It oscillates continuously like that. And you see how the timing is there? It must just clear there. And that's how that. So I'll put that over there. This here, we'll just show you. Here is the cutting, the lower cutting blade. It is held in by this clamp. That clamp pulls through with this screw, and this entire piece can be adjusted. On that screw, it has its own dovetail. Then you lock it in position with this screw. This is a beautiful piece of 90-year-old engineering, made without any CNC or anything. And notice how the edges are all rounded off. There are no sharp edges on this. The only thing that's sharp on here is what needs to be, and that is the cutting blade. Okay. Now we're going to continue, and we can take this off. Right. So we take this cam off. This is a double cam. This is a double cam. It oscillates in that direction and in this direction from two separate cams on the main shaft. Right? This inner cam here has a number on it. This one's got 8, which means 8 stitches per inch. This is the cam that gives you that motion. As you can see there, it is there. Gives you the up and down, and the other one will give you the parallel movement. Okay, I'm going to undo these two screws. There's one there. There's one in here. There's another here, which is, I think there's another one here. There. Right, so there is this all-in-one piece. And this is a little foot that I was telling you about that you can move to put some pressure. See, it's on a slot. And this pushes against there and nips up any play. Okay, so this is more or less where we had got to when I started the other video, and we can go back to that now, and we can take it from there. There's the top shaft here with the needle. Don't forget at that time we hadn't had the cover off yet. This was still seized, right? So there we are.